Okay, we're back, guys! Greetings, Internet, it's Katie, and I'm back. I know it has been about a 3-week-long hiatus since I've uploaded a video. Officially being back in the United States has brought on a lot more challenges than I thought. It was like me making my pilgrimage to Mecca when I went to Target for the first time after 4 months. Oh my god, it was spiritual. Okay, so anyway, don't get me wrong, I know I've been on the internet for a long while, and every single year you're bombarded with all these videos from me making you think about your love life and whatnot. But honestly, I think it's really healthy. And I came across some messages in my Tumblr inbox that really, kind of shook me up a little bit and made me think, oh my god, I need to just talk to someone, which is you. Congratulations. So, if I ever mention boys and dating boys and kissing boys and etc. boys, just know that in any situation that I talk about, you can insert girl and it'll make perfect sense. In these type of videos, I talk about my personal experiences, and since I like boys, oftentimes it comes off my tongue as being like, well, when you're talking to a boy. Whenever I say something like that, you can easily insert whatever preference you have. So please know that I'm not neglecting you or your identity. I think it's all beautiful and wonderful, and we should all just have an orgy. That escalated a lot quicker than I intended, but you get my point. I'm going to first read to you guys the message that spawned this video. About 40,000 of you guys follow me on Tumblr, so I'm sure a lot of you know by now, but I answer a lot of questions, anonymous questions on Tumblr. So if you have any things that are bothering you, it can be totally anonymous and I'll answer your question and talk to you and really just get to the bottom of what's hurting you. So, anonymous said, so basically I'm a senior in high school and I've never had a boyfriend, never kissed a guy, held hands with a guy, you name it. I've been able to get by being single, and I want my first kiss to be magical and with the right guy, but lately I felt really discouraged that it'll never happen. Okay, first of all, I have a whole video on this. I'll link that below. It's called Never Been Kissed, has some great sentiments on kissing, but just wait, it goes on. I've also never been to a school dance, and I really want to get asked to prom this year. Is there anything I should do to increase my chances of getting a boyfriend? I need to take a deep breath, I just got chills again. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys a little story. This is story time with Katie. I've had some things happen to me in high school that I don't really want to go through, but essentially I had some great friendships that I still have to this day. But let's just say I wasn't in the really cool crowd, okay? There's always that really cool crowd in high school that you just look at and you're like, oh my god, I just want to be on the fringe of that cool crowd and grab onto their coolness, that sort of thing, which is so natural in every movie and every show. It's always how it's depicted. It's just like that for everyone, I feel like. And if you say that it's not like that, you're probably in the cool crowd, or you were in the cool crowd. So anyway, what's the real point of this? Okay, so when I was in high school, prom, homecoming, winter dance, whatever you guys have, we only had 2 dances because our school was so bad that all of our dances got taken away except for homecoming dance and prom. And prom was only for the seniors, and the seniors could invite younger people, but only seniors can invite people to the prom. So it was basically a senior prom. I'm going to just give you a spoiler alert. I wasn't invited to homecoming by anyone until senior year. Yeah, until senior year. Which I would say, I guess, wasn't really normal. I mean, a lot of people were invited and, whatever. I'm not going to throw myself a pity party that I wasn't invited to a school dance. But I'm not going to lie, I will never forget that sinking feeling in my stomach. First of all, getting ready for a dance that you were going to alone. And honestly, I was so for the girls at that point that I was like, whatever, my friends and I are going to dance, we're going to have a good time, etc. But there's still that sinking feeling, you're gonna try to have the best time of your life and have so much fun, but when you get there and you see the couples slow dancing and people just having intimate little moments and people falling in love for the first time and whatever, and you're just kind of there alone sipping punch, there's that sinking feeling in your stomach. And I distinctly remember this. There's this table at the homecoming dance outside of the auditorium where all the people sat who didn't have dates. God, how disgusting is that? Sitting at this table being wow, okay, maybe next year, maybe next year I'll be pretty enough. I kept looking at myself and being oh, is it because of my thighs, is it because my thighs are a little bigger? Do the guys, not want to invite me because of that? Or and what if there was a boy that wanted to ask me, that was just too freaking scared to do it, but I would never know. And here I am sitting at this reject table looking at every part of me thinking, oh, this is definitely why. Oh, that's it. That's definitely why. And I'm not trying to say it's the guy's fault for not asking girls to the dance, It's just kind of an internal thing. We think that we're missing out on love. We think that that's the missing piece to all of this, that we'll feel so much better about ourselves when we have love. So that's always been our time thinking about. We're sitting in class, mindlessly listening to the lecture, but kind of thinking in the back of our mind, oh, will so-and-so in that one frat invite me to this date party next Saturday? I hope so. How many bases do I have to blow through to get this guy to care about me? So the one sentence of this question that really rubbed me the wrong way was when this poor girl asked, is there anything I can do to increase my chances of getting a boyfriend? That type of phrase is used mostly when you're trying to get into a college or get a job or get your driver's license. Like, what do I have to do? How many, references do I need to increase my chances of getting this job? How many more points in the SAT do I need to increase my chances into getting into this college? Not how to get a boyfriend. Love, okay, I've yet to experience it. I mentioned this a lot. A lot of my friends have been in love and have told me about it. And I think that love, it's supposed to be the kind of thing that you just kind of wander into and you just are in it. Why else do you think they call it falling in love? It's not like you're walking into it, walking up a flight of stairs into love, purposely walking into it. No, it's like you fall in love. It just happens to you. It's something that happens, and it's either really great or really sucky, and you just kind of have to learn with it and grow with it, and it shouldn't be something that you want to increase your chances into getting, There's a problem with boys, with our need to have a boyfriend. There's a problem with that. A lot of us are like, oh, okay, we just need to find love, we need to get this boy to like us, and then that's it, we'll be good, we'll be set, we'll be happy forever, no problems. Very honestly, I think that love is not the thing that you're missing in your life. Not the thing that I'm missing in my life. If we feel empty, we feel, kind of like we're stuck in quicksand and we don't know which direction to go and we're kind of just sinking, it's not because of love. It's not because of a lack of love. It's because of a lack of purpose. Not just that Justin Bieber song that I do love so much. Purpose. What does purpose mean? Purpose is like a heartbeat. It's something that keeps you going, that connects all of the dots. Don't get me wrong, I think that, hopping in the car and just driving is a very great thing that you can do with your life and just kind of be free and do your thing. But without like a end destination, you can only drive for so long without being like, all right, when am I going to feel something from this, What are you living for? What gets your heart racing? What gets your blood pumping? What makes you, just want to stay up all hours of the night working on something? Is it a sport? Running a marathon? Is it drawing? Is it writing? You have to have something. I think a lot of us are so blinded by the boy problem because we're too scared to be honest with ourselves about what we actually want to do with our lives. It's really freaking scary. I'm applying to internships right now and, trying to figure out what kind of job I want, what kind of career, and, kind of trying to ignore the little voice in my head saying, oh, graphic designers don't get paid much, stuff like that. I put all my energy into trying to get a boyfriend because it just seems like the right thing to do, but no, it's not. I think that personally the boy problem is just this huge, like, fog patch, this thing that like makes you have to stop your car because you're like, oh, I need to get a boyfriend because everyone else is talking about it, everyone else has one, everyone else is falling in love, everyone else is having sex and hooking up and like whatever. I have to be involved in that too. And then by the time we're out of this fog, we're out of this haze, all of our other friends that actually kept their dots going and are actually going towards some sort of purpose are way ahead of us on the highway of life. We can't let this boy problem fog overwhelm us and take over our lives. And if you're constantly waiting around trying to, get this one boy in your Spanish class to ask you to the prom, you're missing out on everything else there is. Spending 3.5 months in Europe with very limited boy contact was a very for the girls type of experience, which was so amazing for me because I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those boy obsessed girls right before going. It was a very awakening experience being there. Seeing all of these things, seeing the Eiffel Tower, seeing the Louvre, seeing, Barcelona at night, Amsterdam in all of its glory, seeing everything. I saw so many things and I felt so many things. And way in the back of my mind was a boyfriend. And I've never felt more alive in my entire life. See as much of the world as you can. That was my purpose abroad. Take a shot every time I say purpose. Just kidding, I only say that because I'm legal now, but anyway. So it's come to that part of the end of my videos where I kind of try to make sense of everything I just said previously, which is always very difficult because sometimes I literally black out when I make these videos and I forget what I say. I think it's really important for us to not only encourage each other to find purpose, to find passion, to really think about what we want to do with our lives, and to kind of challenge ourselves in our friendships to not gush over boys so much, to not gush over our relationships and, oh, will he ask me to dance? I think it's important that us as women and men, whatever your preference, it's important for us to stick together and realize there's so much more in this world for us than what we think. We think we have to find a spouse, have kids, have a career at the same time somehow, you know, and just be something that our past selves and our parents can be proud of. You know, we think that's the end goal for all of us. It's too scary to think about, you know, being Carrie Bradshaw and getting married at 50. Like, that's freaking scary, even for me, you know. I want to get married at a normal age. I want to have a normal life with a normal boyfriend, a normal husband, and normal kids. I just want to be normal. Hate to break it to you, that doesn't always happen. You know, we cannot control if that'll happen or not, and a lot of times it doesn't happen, you know. Figure out where you want to go. Even if it's not concrete, even if it's like just a slight gist of kind of what you kind of want with your life. It's crucial that we all come up with something that gets us going in the morning, that, you know, drives us to get our coffee and go on with the day. And if you say, oh, that's too much work for me, I'd rather just pine over a boy that doesn't care about me, I feel sorry for you. But don't get me wrong, that was me sitting at the reject table at my high school homecoming dance, you know, sitting there pining over boys that didn't give me the time of day and are now DMing me on Twitter. So that's it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Maybe you took something from it. I don't know, this could be just another one of my rambling nonsense rants that people are like, oh my god, you're being so dramatic, whatever. At least I'm trying to make sense of this huge production that we call life. There are no intermissions in this production. You just kind of have to keep going, even if you're literally falling apart as you do it. So that is it. I'm going to take my bow and go eat a sandwich because I am starving. Okay, so that's it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys all next week. I promise I'm not going to skip out on you guys again. Pinky swear. Ciao.